that plays out that well. But if you're Coach Johnson, you know, you almost got to reward Strachan for his good play last night and give him extended minutes and see how that plays out there as well.
In my post-game commentary with Coach Johnson, he said he went up to Strachan and told him, listen, you're going to play, so you better be ready. And, you know, when KJ said it, I saw the intensity in his eyes.
Yes.
So I understand how to translate it to that young man. He said, listen, I got a job to do. I'm going to go there and I'm going to show Doris Thompson they should have never let me go.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes when you're scorned, you respond. So he felt he had a little something to prove, and he came. You could see he was so much into that game last night that there was really no stopping him, especially once he scored a couple of baskets and his confidence started to buoy itself.
You know, when I saw the young man, I just saw focus. I didn't see much emotion. You know, not like a Russell Westbrook where you can see he wears his emotions on his face.
All right, so let's go right now. The opening ceremonies are underway for tonight's game. Let's take a listen and see what's going on there, and we come right back to start the action.
From one of our sources today, and they are willing to commit 5 more years because of the performance that you young men have put on. And these trials have done now for 7 days. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. So we want to thank you for that. We've had record numbers of persons watching. We want to thank Cable Bahamas, Generali Insurance, Atlantis Resorts, Zaymar Productions for assisting us with this year's championships. Without further ado, we're going to ask for a gentleman, a young man, who's representing the music project. This is a competition, not in interscholastic sports, but a competition in music for high school students. And so we're going to ask him tonight to do the honors and sing our national anthem and make us proud, as the young lady did last night, representing another school who was also in the music project. His name is Joshua Ferguson, and he's representing Queens College. Joshua, could you come up, please?
Please stand for the singing of the national anthem. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland. March on to glory, your bright banners waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing. Pledge to excel through love and unity. Pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Steady sunward, though the weather hide the wide and treacherous shore. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland, till the road you trod leads unto your God. March on, Bahamaland.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge 2 very important persons standing up here. I want you to give them a special round of applause. That's Ms. Varel Davis, the president of the GSSA. Let's give Mrs. Davis a round of applause, please. And standing next to her, I have the honor of working with this wonderful principal almost every day. I'd like for you to acknowledge the president of the Principals Association of New Providence Public Schools, Mrs. Joan Gray. Let's give her a round of applause. She represents the C.C. Sweeting Cobras. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we're going to honor God. So I'm going to ask you to stand. I apologize for letting you sit down, but I'm going to ask you to stand again. I'm going to call Mrs. Sherman Johnson, who's going to say a word of prayer. We know we don't want any of these young men to get hurt. So we're going to ask God's special blessing over them tonight as they perform for indeed the whole country. Mr. Johnson, please. If you do have hats off, let's show respect by taking those hats off for this word of prayer.
Thank you very much. Let us bow our heads as we look to the Lord. Father in heaven, Lord, we truly thank you, Lord, for this wonderful evening. We thank you, Lord, for these athletes who are going to participate tonight. We pray, God, you'll keep them all safe from any injuries. Pray, God, for the coaches. Give them wisdom as they coach their various teams. Also, Lord, we ask that you will be with the officials. Give them wisdom as they officiate this game tonight. And Father, may the best team win. And Father, whatever's done, may your name be praised and glorified and honored. We thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. Teams, I'm going to ask you to shake hands and come out fighting. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. One team can be a champion tonight. One team can take it to another game. Who is it going to be? You're going to find out in 3 minutes.
So here we are getting ready for the start of this game now as both teams have gone back to their respective benches and are waiting now for the introduction of the starting fives, which I'm not sure if they're going to do that tonight. They certainly did it last night. Before we get to that, however, I do want to acknowledge, and as I saw Mr. Wisdom do the same thing, but Vernon Davis, the president of the GSSA, deserves a special acknowledgement for what she has done throughout the course of this season in making sure this league has run very smoothly. She's very much responsible for most, if not all, of the preparations that went into getting set for this championship series, and she's to be commended for a job well done. You got to say, you got to tip your cap off to Vernon Davis and what she's accomplished as president of the GSSA heading into the championship.
Vernon doesn't stop. Yeah. She goes year round. When it isn't, she's dealing with GSSA and all of the various sports. She's also a perennial national team coach. If when it isn't junior girls she's coaching senior girls. She works very hard and she deserves her props. She, if anybody we want to help get something done, we call Coach Clark and she's ready to go.
And one thing I got to say, like you mentioned, she's a hard worker. She puts in the effort and it pays off because at the end of the day, you can see the results of her hard work. And she's certainly seen the fruits of her labor now tonight with this championships and the way it has gone off very, very, very smoothly. We've seen a great response by the students and the crowd coming in to enjoy these games every single night. And of course, we've been able to broadcast them for you, at least the senior boys matchups, that you're able to enjoy them at home. Both teams are onto the floor now. C.I. Gibson has their starting five on. Here comes the starting five now for the Doris Johnson Mystic Mons. And as we've mentioned, this certain fact that it has to be do or die here for Doris Johnson. You must win tonight to force a game 3 tomorrow night. If not, then the Rattlers will celebrate a championship right here on this very same floor to this evening. And we are ready to get this thing rolling. There's the opening tip. And the ball, just like it did last night, goes out of bounds, and it'll be the C.I. Gibson Rattlers who will have first possession.
So we have a slight lineup change with Doris Johnson and their starters. They don't start Michael Balfour tonight. They have the other normal starters tonight. And now what they have on the floor now, Janus Shepherd, Joshua Burows, Tyeko Lowe. They also have Malachi McCoy at number 1, Jaythan Belle G.
Chad Smith now kicks it back out. The jump shot off the glass and no good. 3-point shot not falling early. That's the first shot of the game. So there's a lot of time to get things going. That was actually Malachi.
That was Kevon Farrington. Kevon Farrington who took the first shot from Doris Johnson.
Well, I got two of the same roster here, so I got... Meanwhile, the jump shot is good going the other way. As knocking down the outside J for Doris Johnson to get them on track. They're up 2-0 early, but again, we saw this last night where they struck first. Can they maintain it, though, is the question. Denykco Burows from outside can't hit the three. Just like last night, he's been ice cold. He made only 1 of 5 last night in his shot attempts, so he's got to find a rhythm if he wants to be successful. They try to force it inside to Malachi McCoy. He loses it out of bounds, but his last touch by C.I. Gibson is Chad Smith. So McCoy and the Mystic Mars will retain possession here with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, once again, it looks like they want to get the ball inside. And they started by getting it into Malachi McCoy. 16 seconds left on the shot clock. With Joshua Burows on the inbounds, a deep three.
Burows taking a nice shot in rhythm, couldn't knock it down, but it was a good look for them. And they get another offensive rebound. They'll reset the clock. Well, they reset it up to 24 seconds. Should have only gone to 14 on the offensive rebound.
Actually, what happened was Chad Smith almost lost it out of bounds. So they considered that he made control, or maintained control of the ball.
Another 3-point shot and another offensive rebound.
And that's one of the things they work on, the weak side rebound, because everybody's heads are turned to the ball. And again,
Fourth time and now a fifth offensive rebound. And it back to Burows again. This time he goes a little closer. That's going to not bear fruit. And finally, the Rattlers get away the rebound. Denykco Burows is going full speed. That's going to be an offensive foul.
And like we said, one of the keys to the game that they wanted to do was to stop Denykco Burows and that downhill bully basketball. He says he went there, he went straight for the basket. He tried the Euro step, but he didn't get out of the way. The Euro step is designed for a player to get out of the way of the person trying to absorb the charge.
Well, it certainly didn't work that time. Good anticipation by the Mystic Marlins defender. Able to get right there and take it away and draw that
ball
charge.
Movement. As they easily broke that 2-2-1 press.
And the same situation there, going for the Euro step, but right into the chest of the defender. This time, however, they get the benefit of the doubt, and it'll draw the foul. And that looks like Janus Shepherd, who's going to go to the line here to shoot 2. Foul was called on number 8. I do believe that'll be Cameron Shear. That'll be his first personal. Team foul number 1. He makes the first free throw to make this lead a 3-0 Bulge. And now comes up short there, and the game will stay just as it is. Here come the Rattlers now, still looking for their first points on the game with 5:45 left to play here in quarter number 1. Looking inside to Chad Smith, who puts his hand down and tries to go to the basket, has it knocked away. Here comes the Mystic Mars, and they'll lose it. Good pass. They were looking for Shepherd on the break, but he couldn't hold on to it. Loses it out of bounds, touches his chest and says, "Hey, my bad, guys. Should have had that one." And he's right.
I'm surprised because Jaythan Belle normally would have taken that straight to the basket himself.
Again, they try to go inside. The fall-away jumper is no good. Again, the Marlins only with 1 shot, and they'll push it up floor here. They got numbers. And an ugly shot there.
The ball kind of slipped out of his hand. He got away with a travel or double dribble just now.
Rattlers still look a little frantic. Have not settled into the offensive groove yet. Another air ball on a wild shot. And here comes Shepherd pushing it up floor. Burows trying to go a little too quickly. Now pulls it back out to McCoy. And now Burows has it. Top of the key. 3-point shot is going to be short off the front of the rim. And he's missed 3 shots already from that point, where they've been short. 3-pointer by C.I. Gibson is no good. McCoy comes away with it.
If we look at just now, there was some good boxing out on the defensive rebound just now. It looks like they're going to take some special interest in protecting the boards as they lost the rebounding battle last night.
Indeed, that seems to be the focus here. Meanwhile, they try to go inside. Burows trying to force it in there. Luckily, they're able to get back to it. Shot clock is at 1. They try to throw up a shot. It's going to be an air ball. And close to a travel by Chad Smith, who shakes his defender. Crowd likes it. And now here come the Rattlers going inside. That's going to be an offensive foul. Yes, sir. Good defense.
And one of the things that you got to look at and watch out for is sometimes the defensive player doesn't always take the contact. It looked to me like he fell a little bit early. He didn't
Not
really
only
absorb
that,
the
I thought he might have been in a no-charge zone, to be honest with you. But the referee saw it the other way. Malachi McCoy drawing the charge. I'll give him credit for good defense there. 3-0 lead. Slowing, and McCoy comes up the offensive rebound and put back. His first points of the night is now a 5-0 lead. So the Marlins again coming out strong, the same way they did in Game 1. The question is, can they maintain it now throughout the course of this game?
One of the major adjustments we see a lot of guys slipping in on the weak side for those weak side rebounds, boxing the man out and following the ball and going right back up.
Three-point shot is well short. Rattlers trying to get the offensive rebound. They do.
That shot clock should not have reset.
It did touch the rim, the front of the rim, I thought.
It did? Okay.
Wild scramble defensively now. Denykco Burows finds himself open, rattles it on, can't hit it. Burows kicks it back out, and they'll reset.
If Burows had looked the other way, he had an open lane to the basket.
To the corner. Shepherd.
Jaythan Belle.
Well, they give him a two-pointer. Foot on the line, apparently, so it's only a 5-0 game.
Actually 7. They haven't put it.
Oh, there it is. Now they make the adjustment, so it is 7.
Now here we are 5 minutes into the game, and C.I. Gibson has yet to score a basket.
But again, we saw this last night where Mystic Marlins got off to a hot start. Here's Denykco Burows again, can't hit from outside. And I think, to me, he's got to stop settling for that. He's got to try to force the issue a little bit more as coming back to make the block. Here's Chad Smith, the floater. No good. The Rattlers can't buy a basket. You see Chad Smith's frustration going back the other way. Making the basket is Shepherd.
And I'm waiting, when do you call a timeout, coach? This is a totally different game tonight. When do you call a timeout?
And Shepherd is asking for a breather. He's exhausted. And that's the question. You got to wonder, can they maintain this intensity, or will they burn themselves out here in this first quarter the same way they did last night?
Well, Janus Shepherd is a high-intensity defensive player. And right now, like you said, he's asking for a breather.
Balfour is going to check into the game now for the Marlins.
Also, Jaythan Belle has stepped out as well. And we have another fresh guard in that's Janeiko Saunders. C.I. Gibson can't even make a free throw.
Meanwhile, the Rattlers just cannot get the ball to go through the hoop. Here's our young freshman at the line, and he misses them both. Still a goose egg on the board for the Rattlers. Burows, quick to the corner, kicks it out to the wing. Now to the top of the key, they'll drive it inside and the foul call. It'll be a reach, and I do believe on number 2 there for the Rattlers. I'll wait for the official designation, but I thought he reached in at the end of the call and drew that whistle there.
It seems like Coach Johnson is going to let his team play through. He has yet to call a timeout. A scoreless first quarter, and we're well into under 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Balfour kicks it out and throws it away. You know, you think about it, the way this game has gone, but C.I. Gibson scoreless, you would think it's a runaway, but it's only a 9-0 game. 3 possessions, basically, and the Rattlers have shown the ability to come back from big leads. There's another wild three-pointer, no good. And it's going to be the last touch by the Marlins.
And that's Rillen Saunders.
He did the same thing last night, checked into the game, and as soon as he touched it, he threw it up. Now he drives inside, right into the trees, and he's going to lose it.
He stepped out of bounds.
And that was an ill-advised move there by Rillen Saunders. Drove right into the trap there, and he's a short kid, right into the tall guys, and got lost in there. Balfour is going to get called for the travel. It's a good call.
Actually said he stepped out of bounds. He didn't travel. The official has some good eyes. This seems like about 40 feet away from us.
Yeah, I know. How do you see that?
It must have been clearly out.
Darryl Ranger, one of the officials tonight, doing double duty. He just got that call to see. And that's going to come. Finally, Rillen Saunders joined the foul and the N1 opportunity.
Rillen Saunders, the young pit bull. Like I said, he reminds me of Kyle Lowry with his build and the way he handles the ball. He's not particularly athletic. However, he handles the ball pretty well. He's really solid. He's tough and he's strong.
Well, I call him the pork chop because, I told him he's eating a lot of those. He's getting, every year he gets progressively chubbier. He misses the free throw. And the score remains now 9-2, but the Rattlers at least are on the board. And now that Rattlers defense kind of picks up the intensity. McCoy loses his footing, is going to get the over and back call, and so the pressure defense forces the turnover.
So finally KJ calls a timeout. I was like, there's only so much I would do to let the guys play through it, but when I don't see the execution that I want, hey guys, no, we got to talk about it. We can't come out this flat. We can't come out missing all these shots. We can't let them get the open layups and the energy players. We have to maintain and control the pace.
And I think that's probably one of the things he's saying right now on that sideline. The basket they did get was more luck than anything else than by design. So you'll take the 2 points certainly, but they have not shown the ability to work the offense and get good, solid looks and opportunities. They're taking a lot of long jumpers, a lot of ill-advised shots, and nothing so far has paid off for them in terms of running the offensive sets. But again, this game is still in reach, though. You're only down by 7.
And strangely enough, Doris Johnson is getting backcourt and setting up in their half-court defense, whereas C.I. Gibson has been bringing their defense up. But still, C.I. Gibson has not really gotten many good shots up.
Well, they'll try to work it to the corner. Skip pass, finds an open teammate. No good on the air ball, and a foul is called underneath. That may be on McCoy, although Shepherd is kind of looking around as if that's going to be on him.
Foul's call on number 2, Malachi McCoy.
It is Malachi McCoy, his first personal. And it's going to send the Rattlers to the line. That's number 6 there for the Rattlers.
And that's Emmanuel Alexander.
Alexander going to the line here, shooting 2.
Last night he had 12 points off the bench. Part of that, 62 points of offense from the bench.
Well, he's not going to add to that total right now because he misses the first one. He's got one more coming, though. Rattlers still trailing 9-2. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. There's Emmanuel. He's down 1-2 to make it a 9-3 game.
So right now, all of the points from C.I. Gibson has come from the bench.
And I never understand that. Why go behind the back there in a crowded offensive, in a crowded defense players? Makes no sense there. It's going to be last touch by C.I. Gibson.
Well, the defense that C.I. Gibson has switched to from the 2-2-1, they just switched to a 1-2-1-1, the diamond press, and it's intended to cause a lot of problems in the backcourt.
That time they break it a chance here. They didn't get the basket. They can't score. Boy, that went over. He forced the shot, took it himself. And results in a turnover. It's going to be a foul call. It looks like it's going to be on Shepherd. But they had a 2-on-1 opportunity. The guard, rather than give it up, tried to force the shot and take it himself.
Just now at the basket, they allowed a lot of contact to happen just now on two possessions back to back. And then here it is, all going the other way. We have
a ticky-tack foul.
Yeah.
Dario Sanders trying a 3. Can't knock it down. We're going to have a reach-in foul again, and they're starting to add up a bit. The team fouls are now even at 4 apiece.
We have 14.2 seconds left to go inside the first quarter.
Meanwhile, Doris Johnson has not scored in a while. They're sitting on that 9 points for a minute here.
Again, a little over a minute, like we were about 2 minutes left to go inside the quarter, and they had not scored.
Yes, indeed. 14.2 on the clock. And if you're a C.I. Gibson, if you can hold it here and a chance to add to the total, if you can add these 2 free throws, and it makes the first one.
And that's number 12, D'Angelo Oliver. He had 1 lone 3-pointer last night. Off the bench as well.
So Oliver knocks it both down. And as you go into the end of this quarter here, if you're the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, you got to feel pretty good about yourself if you can hold the game right here to this stage. McCoy again going for one of those dunks off the rim. Sorry, it's not McCoy. I take it back. And we're going to end the first quarter just like that at 9-5. But C.I. Gibson still scraping in there, still hanging in there. After going down 9-0, they've come back to make it a 9-5. We'll have a break. We'll come back. Second quarter just ahead. Stay with us, folks.
relax, enjoy, savor, unwind, and exhale, knowing we've got you covered every step of the way. Find out why we pride ourselves on being the largest and oldest insurance agency in the Bahamas. Log on to jsjohnson.com for more information and like us on Facebook. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
ATH Physiotherapy has a professional team of therapists that stay up to date with the latest methods in orthopedic rehabilitation. Our clinical staff is praised in helping in the recovery of sports injuries, including neck, back, knees, and shoulders, just to name a few. We provide high-quality service in a warm, friendly environment. Insurance is accepted with a doctor's referral. Get back on track with KTH Physiotherapy. Located East Bay Shopping Center, opposite Potter's Key. 394-5161.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance. Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Don't take a chance. Put it in our hands at Shield Insurance.
So the second quarter is underway. Rattlers with the basketball. Just while you were away, you had a foul call, and that's on the floor by Tristan Seymour, who was the big hero last night for the Rattlers. He's already come into the game and had an impact. Draws the foul there, makes one of two free throws. The Rattlers now down 12-6. If you're wondering about that, and now the pressure defense almost forcing a turnover. Burows and Race just gets it away in time. Balfour kicks it out to Burows. And now into the corner. Good look at the three. Can't hit it. Offensive rebound inside and blocked away. A double block, if you will, by both Tristan Seymour and Denykco Burows there to send that thing out of bounds. Shot clock will not reset at 9 seconds to get a shot off if you're the Mystic Marlins here. 12-9 ball game, and the Rattlers have gone big. They got all three of their big men in the game at the same time, perhaps trying to take away those shots at the rim. And they still try to go inside to Malachi McCoy. It's knocked away. But as you mentioned, Chad Smith.
Well, the kickball, so the shot clock is now reset to 14.
Another look at a three, kicks it back out as the defender pushes him off the line. And who's there making the steal there with Tristan Seymour spinning inside and call for the offensive foul. Boy, I don't know about that one. I thought there was some contact there, but I didn't think there was enough to warrant an offensive foul call. But Strachan gets called for it. That'll be his first. As you mentioned, the Rattlers going big, and here's Strachan again going for the steal. Almost comes up with it and knocks it out of bounds.
With the defense that C.I. Gibson is setting up with, the 2-2-1, the intent is to keep the ball away from the middle of the floor. Just now, there was a cross-court pass when Doris Johnson should fundamentally have someone set up in the middle of the floor to relieve the pressure.
And they keep trying to force that ball in there, and the defenders keep knocking it away. Wild shot, no good. Burows trying to force one up, can't hit. Rebounds, scramble for, and again, the offensive rebound. They've been able to get quite a few of them tonight, despite the big lineup for the C.I. Gibson Rattlers. And that'll be a couple of free throws coming up now for Doris Johnson, as heading to the line will be number 13.
Matthew Saunders.
And that's Matthew Saunders who will go to the line here shooting two. The foul was called on Tristan Seymour, who's come into the game and collected 2 fouls here.
Well, I guess Coach tried to make the adjustment. He saw that, they were being out-rebounded on both ends of the floor, so now he tried to put the big lineup in there, trying to see if he can get something going.
And the free throw is good. Extends the lead to 13-6 now. One more coming his way.
Matthew Saunders, a small guard, about 5'8", between 5'8" to 5'10", is very strong. Marcellus, I watched this boy inside the gym push 445 plates. That guy's strong. And easily push 445s.
Not bad at all. That's right around 225 pounds, not bad. As Smith gets the friendly bounce, knocks one down. If I'm not mistaken, as McCoy goes coming over is Janeiko Belle from the big size paying off. They're denying everything at the basket right now. That's Burows' second block shot of the game.
McCoy didn't really go strong to the basket. It's like he was looking for some contact, but
Burows hit the delete button on that one. Meanwhile, a foul call again. A jump ball, sorry. Jump ball arrow in favor of the Rattlers, so it'll be their basketball. Essentially a turnover if you're the Mystic Marlins here. 14-8 game, 5:43 left to play here in the first half. Chad Smith throws it away. They're going to get a foul call against the Rattlers. It's going to be on number 3.
That's Saeed Sanusi, transfer from Catherine.
One time ago, pretty much unheard of, where kids would actually go from the private schools into the government schools ranks, but it's now becoming quite a three-point basket. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first one that's made all game. Matthew Saunders knocks it down. We're seeing it more and more often now. For instance, Josh for Burows at the basket made by the Rattlers. Josh for Burows, a former Temple Christian student, now it's at Doris Johnson. So some of these kids taking the opportunity to go to some of these programs where they hope that it's going to parlay into collegiate scholarships, and it has paid off for quite a few of them.
Yes, most certainly has. Kevin Johnson right now has every year he pretty much has about at least two or so students that go off to college. Doris Johnson's coach, Coach Bowles, has pretty much tried to follow the same kind of pattern where if he doesn't have doesn't have kids go off to school, he has coaches that comes down periodically to camps. During the last quarter of last year, he had some coaches come down who are part of the John Wall Foundation who want to start a basketball program. I believe you came out and did an interview with a couple of those coaches.
Yes, very well. Very impressed with that situation. Janus Shepherd makes one of 2. Meanwhile, makes it an 8-point lead for Doris. And a kickball is going to be called here against, I think it's going to be, it's not a foul, but they'll call it a kickball, so the shot clock will stay at 17. Back into the game, meanwhile, for the Rattlers is Dario Saunders.
You see the quick collapse on Rashawn. They're not going to let him kill them tonight.
Yeah,
you notice as soon as that ball got in there,
as soon as he touched it,
they turned around and they trapped him.
And he's got to recognize that. He's got to give that basketball up and maybe repost again. Good pass by Burows to break the trap. McCoy trying for a two-handed dunk, can't hit it. And you like the aggressiveness, but sometimes the simple play is more effective. That's going to be an offensive foul on Chad Smith. And he can't believe it.
And the thing about it is because he has a reputation, I believe that was more so the call for him.
Long cross-court pass to Janus Shepherd. And they'll break the trap easily this time. Driving inside, blocked away again. And that's Rashawn Strong, who had quite a few last night. I think he had 8 blocks in the game last night. And he's already got a couple here this evening. Saunders, short on the 3. He's got a weird release. Meanwhile, inside,
that's once again Matthew Saunders.
That's Matthew Saunders, who is coming in, had a big impact so far, and a 10-point lead now for Doris Johnson.
But an injury update, we have Jaythan Belle from C.I. Gibson. He's in the locker room. He bit down on his tongue. He got hit in his mouth and bit down on his tongue. And so it's very important that these guys play with some protection. That mouth guard would have really helped him because he would have been biting down on the mouth guard. And one of the things that's overrated and we don't do in basketball, we don't wear a lot of groin cups. You know, baseball, we'd always wear them. Softball, we'd always wear them. But in basketball, it's one of the things that most of our players have not become accustomed to doing.
Well, they're not very comfortable when you play basketball, but...
Oh, very strong boxer.
On the air ball situation.
And I see a very big adjustment that Doris Johnson has made. They're putting a lot of emphasis on boxing out and securing that defensive and offensive rebound. Well, Joshua Burows finally gets a shot to drop in.
By the way, for the Rattlers, in case you're wondering about that, somebody's got 3 fouls. Who's got 3 fouls already? Number 13?
That would be...
That's got to be for the Mystic Marlins, number 13. In which case, that's Matthew Saunders. They have him for 3 fouls. I didn't see that. Meanwhile, they're going to get McCoy going over the back, and that's going to be a foul on him. Should be his second. And he's got to be careful as well. He wants to be a contributor tonight, but he's got to be smart.
Right. And strangely enough, with 2 minutes left to go inside the first half, C.I. Gibson has forced themselves into having 5 team fouls. The next foul, Doris Johnson will be shooting.
Oh, an ugly looking shot. Rebound pulled away by Joshua Burows, and they're going to have a jump ball called quickly by the official, Darryl Ranger. And the possession now in favor of the Rattlers. 12-point lead for Doris Johnson. Already a different ball game than what we saw last night, because by now the Rattlers have fought their way back in and actually gone up by a couple of points.
In actuality, last night, the first quarter ended up being 21-21.
Yeah.
We're well into the second quarter, and the score is still 22-10.
Yes, by this point, actually, last night, the Rattlers had gone up by 10 after trailing early.
And the score was a lot higher.
Yeah, so we're seeing now it's a slower game. The points are certainly less than what we saw last night. I think at the half last night was 45. It was 40-35, if I remember correctly, at the half. So we're seeing now a totally different game as far as tempo-wise, and the shooting percentages are not the best at all. We saw a lot of long shots go down for C.I. Gibson yesterday. Not the same story tonight. They have yet to find the range from outside, and they're finding it very difficult to get shots inside as well, as this Mystic Marlins defense has risen to the occasion and made the going very tough.
Well, like you said, and one of the keys to the game, C.I. Gibson wanted to do what they did last night, and Doris Johnson wanted to come back and make it better.
Ball stolen away. Mystic Marlins pushing it up the court now, and they'll wisely slow it down as the Rattlers get back on D.
And that's number 7, Wanya McCoy, Malachi McCoy's brother, that secured that steal just now, who almost lost it. He actually has a disability, Marcellus. He has only one functional eye. He's blind in one eye, but he's trying to work hard to be a very good basketball player.
Bad pass now, knocked away. It's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Doris Johnson, will say, so it'll be Rattlers basketball here. Saunders will inbound. And here come the Rattlers. Down by 12, coming up on 2 minutes to go. Here in the first half. Saunders driving into the lane and draws the foul.
They call that a blocking foul. I don't see that being much different than some of the other.
Boy, I tell you, exactly, you're right about that. I thought maybe that could have been more of a charge than the other one. That defender was there in good time. Maybe he's in that no charge zone, in that restricted area. Difficult for you guys to see it on your television screen. You can see that black line, looks like a circle. That's the no charge zone. If you're in that area, you cannot draw a charge. It'll be an automatic blocking foul. Ball is down. Saunders knocks down the free throw to cut into this lead just a bit. It's now down to 10. Here's the second free throw, and he can't hit it.
And he just struck that one up there and tried to get in defensive position. That wasn't wise.
Marlins being a little bit more patient now. And again, turning it over. And the ball must be a little slippery.
And that's Janeiko Saunders that turned the ball over when it went the other way. He was having a lot of success last night. Tonight he's a little bit more quieter, but still trying to make the same kind of penetration plays. However, C.I. Gibson is collapsing at that interior penetration much more tonight.
Well, one of the things I've noticed already is that the Marlins continue to try to force the ball there. Now that's a better look. And going up strong and being able to draw the foul. 2 free throws coming up, and that's going to be on Rashawn Strong. That'll be his third foul.
And that's Jaythan Belle, a.k.a. Trouble, who's headed to the strike to make 2. And that's the young man there who was in the locker room who bit down on his tongue.
Well, has already found his way back in, although he misses the free throw here.
What I notice, a lot of the young men don't focus on that first shot.
And like you said, he focuses on the second, knocks it in. 23-11. Minute 35 left to here in the first half of play. Doris Johnson leading to win tonight. And knocked away. Rattlers look a little bit out of sorts here this evening as you watch this game. They don't seem to quite have that flow. As Strong goes to the bench, checking in is Denykco Burows now, who's again been a non-factor. He's got a couple of block shots, but he's not been a factor offensively. Janeiko Saunders throws up a long 3, no good. Rebound, Denykco Burows, we talked about him. He has a shot blocked, he'll get a chance to go to the line.
And once again, you know, I don't know how the official under the basket, Gary, made that call. He was behind everything. Dollar Ranger had a better view of the call. He made the call. And it looked as if it was just contact up top when the hand was being a part of the ball.
Yeah, I didn't see a foul there either, but the referee does call it from behind, like you mentioned. The first free throw, good by Burows, and maybe that'll get him going. Seeing the ball actually go through the basket. And he makes both. Lead is 10. Joshua Burows has had a quiet first half for the Mystic Mons. They lead by 10 despite that. Again, trying to force their way through the teeth of the defense. And this time they get the foul. And that was the point I was going to make earlier, is that these Marlins offensive players continually dribble right into the trap. It's designed that way. They put their heads down, they go right into 3 men, and they turn it over.
Fortunately, they were bailed out because right now they're in the bonus, and Janus Shepherd is going to the free throw line and trying to make 2. Janus Shepherd, a native of Eleuthera, who transferred to Providence 2 years ago.
Well, wide open is Janeiko Saunders in the pass, tried to find him, but it goes out of bounds. And that's not actually Saunders, that's number 4 for the Rattlers. Either way, they couldn't get the pass to him, so it goes out of bounds anyway. Burows. And over and back will be the call.
I was trying to see if the C.I. Gibson player would have tried to make contact with the ball before. But it's best that they get the over and back call as the offensive team instead of letting the defensive team get the steal in the backcourt and make the layup. 42 seconds left to go in the first half.
Saunders still trying to find the range, can't hit it. Burows strong with the rebound, puts it up, can't hit. And that's going to be over the back by Chad. We're going to call it a jump ball, but I thought Chad Smith, and you know, he does tend to get a little bit more over physical as Darryl Ranger, the referee, gets him out of there. Now they're going to give the ball here to C.I. Gibson. I thought the possession was actually, I thought it should be Doris's ball. I thought the Rattlers got the last possession arrow.
And that's what Coach Bowles is at the table arguing right now.
Well, they're going to give it to him anyway. Burows forcing one up, and he's going to throw the foul down the basket.
And that's Wanya McCoy, Malachi McCoy's brother. He should not have let him get that inside position on an inbound play.
So a free throw coming up for Denykco Burows here. Big guy at the line and knocks it. Clock started before the ball even inbounded on that play. They're going to have to hurry to beat the 8-second clock. They do. Just barely get it across in time. And that's going to be the last touch by Doris Johnson. I do know. Boy, the officials say no. I thought he kind of knocked it out of bounds after the ball was initially knocked from his hands. They want to get it to McCoy. Burows. And again, they're paying a lot of attention to him. He's not been able to get himself going anywhere at all. Boy, what a nice play. Can't hit it. But the offensive rebound and the putback by Doris Johnson.
Matthew Saunders
That's
again.
Matthew Saunders. And a wild shot to end the half. After 2 quarters of play, a different ball game than what we saw last night. Doris Johnson has a lead. They lead by 11, 27-16. It's halftime, folks. Let's come back. We'll have more right here from the Kendall Lodge Gym after this.
Relax, enjoy, savor, unwind, and exhale, knowing we've got you covered every step of the way. Find out why we pride ourselves on being the largest and oldest insurance agency in the Bahamas. Log on to jsjohnson.com for more information and like us on Facebook. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
KTH Physiotherapy has a professional team of therapists that stay up to date with the latest methods in orthopedic rehabilitation. Our clinical staff is praised in helping in the recovery of sports injuries, including neck, back, knees, and shoulders, just to name a few. We provide high-quality service in a warm, friendly environment. Insurance is accepted with a doctor's referral. Get back on track with KTH Physiotherapy. Located East Bay Shopping Center, opposite Potter's Key, 394-5161.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance. Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Don't take a chance. Put it in our hands at Shield Insurance.
Gymnasium championship night here at the gym here this evening. And speaking of championships, being presented with the trophies right now of the senior girls division, the runners-up, the CV Bethel Stingrays in the green, getting their second place finish trophies after losing here this evening in game 2 of the best of 3 to the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, who are this year's 2019 GSSA Senior Girls Champions. And as you can see, the presentation is going on right now on the floor, center court, between these two squads. The game taking place just before the start of the senior boys game here tonight. We saw that earlier. As a matter of fact, we had the final few moments of the senior girls game for you right here on RTV. Hats off again to those C.I. Gibson Rattlers, who actually won the game by 20 points. A dominating performance by these young ladies from start to finish in that game. And now their boys team looking to do the same here if they can come back in the second half and win the series and the game tonight against the Doris Johnson Mystic Marlins. That, however, is still very much in question because Doris Johnson has come to play tonight. A much different story than what we saw yesterday evening when they were dominated after the first quarter by the Rattlers, who outscored them in the second half, as a matter of fact. So this is now the danger time. If you're the Mystic Marlins, what we saw last night was C.I. Gibson able to outscore them big time in the second half. So if the legs and the energy levels and the intensity can be maintained by Doris Johnson, now is the time to do so, because there is no tomorrow if you don't win tonight. One of the key things as a coach, you always tell your guys, there is no joy in finishing second. You gotta win in order to celebrate. You can talk about the moral victories, you can talk about all that other stuff. That's only done by the guys that finish second. I'll tell you that much right now as a coach. I'll tell you right now, moral victories are only celebrated by the losers. And that's not to say anything wrong with that, but in this politically correct age these days, everybody likes to give everybody a trophy. It doesn't feel good to finish second. You can maybe feel second. You can feel good maybe a few days later when you say, okay, at least we made the championship. But in that moment, there is no joy in that. There is only disappointment. So these kids know about that. They can tell you right now, the kids from CD Bethel, they're coming off the court right now, the young ladies, and they're saying, man, I would have much rather be receiving a championship trophy than the second place trophy, but it is what it is. And that's what C.I. Gibson senior boys are trying to do. Of course, the Mystic Mounds are hoping they can get it deciding game 3 tomorrow night. They'll have to do it for 2 more quarters of basketball. Right now they have a lead, but I'm sure Coach McCoy is in, Coach Denykco Bowles, is in that locker room saying to his guys right now, hey, this thing is far from over. We've got to finish. It does not happen in the first half. Third and fourth quarters are every bit as important as quarters 1 and 2. It doesn't matter if you win the first half if you don't win the ball game. That's the message I'm sure that Denykco Bowles preached to his guys in that locker room at halftime. Meanwhile, for Coach KJ Johnson, I'm sure he's telling his kids, listen, we've been here before. Last night, these guys had a lead. We were able to come back in and able to take the lead and go on and win. I'm sure they do not want to go to a deciding game 3, a coin flip game. They would love to finish it off this evening, but it's going to take an effort. And I'm sure that's one of the stories that Coach KJ Johnson told his guys. If we can get this thing back into control, it's just a matter of knocking down shots and getting some stops. And we can come back and win and celebrate here this evening with our girls. I'm sure that's the story that he preached to his young man during that locker room at halftime. In fact, you can see they haven't not even come back onto the floor yet, so he's letting his kids have it in that locker room right now. He's not even going to let them come out here and celebrate with the girls. He's out here on the floor taking the trophy for his girls, but he's fuming right now. I can guarantee you that much. He's getting that trophy for his girls, and he'll celebrate in that moment. But he's ready to now take his boys back onto the floor and see if they can do the same thing here this evening on the senior boys side. It's going to take some effort, though, because they trail 27-16. But this thing is far from over. Doris Johnson has got the confidence. They're back onto the floor. They have not really gotten much from their star player Joshua Burows or Malachi McCoy. So they got to feel pretty good. Looking at right now the stats from that first half. And we'll get into that in a second. We'll come back for the start of the second half in just a few seconds. Let's take a break here. We'll come back. We'll give you the first half stats right after this.
Relax, enjoy, savor, unwind, and exhale, knowing we've got you covered every step of the way. Find out why we pride ourselves on being the largest and oldest insurance agency in the Bahamas. Log on to jsjohnson.com for more information and like us on Facebook. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
KTH Physiotherapy has a professional team of therapists that stay up to date with the latest methods in orthopedic rehabilitation. Our clinical staff is praised in helping in the recovery of sports injuries, including neck, back, knees, and shoulders, just to name a few. We provide high-quality service in a warm, friendly environment. Insurance is accepted with a doctor's referral. Get back on track with KTH Physiotherapy. Located East Bay Shopping Center, opposite Potter's Key, 394-5161.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance. Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Don't take a chance. Put it in our hands at Shield Insurance.
Second half, moments away as we get ready to start this thing off here at the C.I. Gibson Rattlers with some work to do as we begin this second half of play. 27-16 our score. And looking at the leading scorers now for C.I. Gibson, Denykco Burows leading score with only 5 points. And it's been a slow going for the Rattlers here this evening.
Pretty much some balanced scoring for Doris Johnson. You have Janus Shepherd with 6 points and Matthew Saunders with 7, and a few other players with 4 and 5 points.
Third quarter is underway. Here we go. Can the Mystic Moths hold on? 2 points inside. Malachi McCoy can't finish it again.
He's pretty much kind of pulling those dunks out himself. Has to put the ball through.
And he's at that point now, just the same way he was last night, where he's gonna get in his own head. He's gonna get down on himself, and he's gotta stay focused. Just make the layup at this stage. I know the dunks are pretty to get the crowd going, but at this point, you just want the 2 points. You just want to finish it. Burows pushed off the three-point line, in and out of the jumper. And we're going to have a whistle away from the basketball here.
Everybody's trying to figure out what's happening. You see a player's coming in. Something is happening on the other end of the...
Well, Dario Saunders is maybe going to come into the game here. And one of the Rattlers players has been to go into the locker room. They're taking him into the locker room. They can't quite see who that is. But one of the Rattlers players is being helped into the locker room. Trying to get a quick look and see who it was. It's one of the guys that was on the floor. Being replaced now by Dario Saunders. Burows for three. Knocks it down. So Denykco Burows with 8 points now, and the lead down 27-19. Mystic Moths will throw it away. And they cannot afford to have this happen. They cannot lose the momentum.
Coach Bowles has continuously preached to Joshua that one-handed pass is not a good pass to try and make. And C.I. Gibson now
case in point, Dario Saunders does the exact same thing on this end and throws it away there. What happens is guys see this in the NBA games, and you know what they fail to understand. First of all, those guys got bigger hands than you do, and they've been doing it for a lot longer. Good Euro step, blocked away by Denykco Burows, who's starting to put his stamp on the game here. Shepherd going inside.
Janus Shepherd gets when the ball rotates around on the weak side, he needs to make that strong, hard penetration.
Chad Smith can't hit. Rebound by Josh for Burows. Defense gets back. Wow, an ugly pass. McCoy's open. They find him. Gets his man in the air. Puts it in. So 4 quick unanswered points there to get the lead back up 31-22.
One of the things that these guys do is to stay fundamentally strong and stay on the ground.
And they're going to get a whistle here away from the basketball. They're going to call it on the floor. That's going to be on Janus Shepherd, I think, on the reach-in.
First team foul for the third quarter for either team.
And for Shepherd, that's only his first personal. Chad Smith's going to shoot that. I know he is. Can't hit the three. He was hitting weight to take a shot there. Meanwhile, on the other side, a whistle is called. It's going to be against Doris Johnson. Could be on.
It looks like Joshua
It's going to be
Burows.
on Joshua Burows.
What it looked like to me from this particular angle that there was no body contact on the rebound. The official, Darryl Ranger, made that call from the backside, and perception, he pushed to get it.
Well, how about this? A breakaway opportunity, and it goes down as Belle is able to score.
That's why the officials have a very difficult job. They're always criticized by the fans and by the person that's on the receiving end of the negative call.
Whenever you lose, the convenient thing is to blame the officials. Saunders again for three, can't hit. Burows fighting for the rebound inside is going to be fouled, and the good foul because he was going to get that. He was going to get that layup up and in, I would think.
Now quickly, with a lot of time left in this third quarter, they're about to possibly put C.I. Gibson in the bonus situation.
Not necessarily a bad thing because Rattlers are not a good free throw shooting team. They'll have to take advantage of those opportunities. That's going to be close to a 5-second. They just barely get it in time. Saunders reach up another three. Yes, he does. One thing we know about Dario Saunders, he's not afraid to shoot it. And boy, Shepherd throws it away. Going back over there. And a timeout called by Doris Johnson.
Right now, Coach Burows wants to tell the team that, listen, we need to settle this down. There's no need to rush, pass the ball around. He's telling him, Janus Shepherd looked like he's telling Malachi McCoy to pick the ball up. You don't have to try to dribble through the press. And if you look at some of the keys to the game, you pass through a press. You don't try, you don't have to dribble through the press.
And that's exactly what was happening there. Guys are trying to dribble in those moments, and they're going right into what the defense wants. Coach Johnson trying to employ his guys to keep up this level of play. Dario Saunders has been an impact player coming off the bench. Perhaps the injured player was not a bad thing at all. You don't want to see a guy get hurt, but he's come in and made two big three-point baskets. And he's seen the ball go through the hoop. He's got confidence, if nothing else. And checking back in now for Doris Johnson is Joshua Burows.
And look at the wide open space in the middle of the floor. Nobody's playing. It's covering the middle of the floor.
Belle back up top to Burows. Corner shot is wide open. Tries to drive baseline. Is going to be whistled for a foul.
Pushing foul.
Get a pushing foul there.
Called
on Chad Smith.
Only the first team foul on the C.I. Gibson Rattlers. Waiting for the official foul count on Chad.
And they have not put it up yet. Well, they didn't call on him. They called on number one. That's his second. And for C.I. Gibson, that's Dario Saunders call for his second personal. To the corner. Shepherd finds Burows, who drives at the baseline, pulls it back out. Saunders went for the steal, can't get this. Shepherd has it blocked away. McCoy comes up with it, the floater, no good. Rattlers fighting for the rebound. Crowd goes wild. That's going to be a foul on Burows. You can't argue that play.
They didn't call a foul, they called it out of bounds.
Well, that's a lucky play because I thought for sure there was a lot of contact there, but the referees. Smith wants to shoot it here. Gives it up and throws it away. Janus Shepherd. Oh, I tell you what, Chad Smith tried a little no-look pass and didn't fool anybody but himself. Burows been very quiet tonight. They've been all over him, taking him out of his rhythm. Inside, McCoy gets his man up in the air, and he's going to get caught there traveling. No, they'll draw the foul instead. He came very close to lifting that pivot foot. And you can pick and choose who you're going to call that foul on. Both Chad Smith and Denykco Burows in the area. And they give it to Denykco Burows, his second. At the line now, McCoy. Doris Johnson desperately holding on to this lead now, trying to get to a game 3. 3:46 on the clock here in quarter 3. As he makes them both. And a timeout called. No, they're going to have a substitution instead for the Rattlers.
And they pulled Rico Burows out, and they bring back in Alexander.
Here comes C.I. Gibson. Jahid Sanusi inside. Balls. Scoring down low. Little hook shot on the left shoulder. They throw it away again. Saunders has it blocked away.
It looks like it's a foul called.
Well, they're going to call a foul on that, and there was some contact on the body. And Dario Saunders has had himself a good third quarter here. He's been instrumental in getting the Rattlers back into this game.
Both of Dario's three-pointers came on ball reversal. And what happened was Doris Johnson got late with the closeout. And one was also a little bit deeper.
5-point lead, trying to cut it to 4. Rattlers again into that press. Coach Johnson is onto the court here. Burows trying to dribble through it, and they almost throw it away there again. Burows finds McCoy inside, and this time he steps through, and they're going to get him for the traveling. I didn't see a traveling here. The referee anticipated that one. He did not pick up the last time I thought he might have traveled. This time he did not. Maybe a makeup call, who knows. But I thought that was a good move by McCoy, using the pump fake well, and was about to do the step through. Gets called for the traveling, which I didn't see it happen.
Right now there's a referee conference in the middle of the floor. I wonder what they're going to discuss.
Well, I don't think they can reverse the call. You can't reverse it, I don't think. It's going to have to stand. Well, I don't understand. Why is the ball... Well, they're discussing something over the table at this point. It's interesting because it almost seems as if the Rattlers are going to inbound from half court, which I don't understand why that would happen here.
They would not inbound from half court. They would have to be back here at the baseline.
Well, now they're going to bring it back down to this end, to the far end. Doris Johnson's going to concede the inbounds. They're just going to set up their half-court defense. They're going to extend it now to the free throw line, to the half-court. A little half-court pressure set up now by Doris Johnson. Holding on to a 4-point lead. It was once up by 11. And they're going to get a stepping out of bounds on Chad Smith.
That's one thing with the big men. If you're not used to playing on the perimeter, you don't always have the best court awareness.
Burows trying to dribble up the court, gets it across to Bell. Back up top to Burows. He's got to be a little bit. They're really doing a great job. That's going to be a travel.
Yes, he did. He was so excited to see that lane so open.
It was open like the Red Sea just now. And he got happy. Happy feet by Bell. Results in the turnover. Lead remains 4, 35-31. Rattlers with a chance to make it a 2-point game or even less if they can make it 3. And speaking of Devil, there's that 3, no good. Rebound taken down by Janus Shepherd. And they'll almost pull it away. That's going to be a foul called on the Rattlers.
He should have actually let it kind of go. What happens is when the 8-second count starts, if something like that happens and it's down to like about 6 seconds, the count continues from that time.
Well, so he called for the foul there. That's his 4th personal. Inside, a lot of contact again, no whistle. McCoy over the back, no call. And it gets the basket.
I believe the over the back wasn't called because it was a clear rebound where they went vertical. He didn't move forward to push him. And he clearly was the only person that could get the rebound.
Well, either way, it's a basket for Doris Johnson. Dario Saunders tries to get it inside to Chad Smith, who throws up a wild shot, can't hit, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, still can't hit. And a jump ball is going to be called as McCoy is tied up.
Malachi should know better than that. He brought the ball down to his waist. C.I. Gibson will maintain possession of the ball with a 14 seconds on the shot clock and 1:46 left to go inside the third quarter.
So it will be Rattlers basketball thanks to the possession arrow off the jump ball. Balfour checks in for Doris Johnson. They wanted to go inside to Denykco.
It was a very contested three.
37, they put the points on the wrong side. Inside, Balfour able to score. 6-point game, 39-33. Denykco Burows for three. Jump shots are falling for C.I. Gibson. 3-point game. Balfour for three. No good, not even close.
Very ill-advised three-point, and he did that in game one as well.
Got caught up in the moment was Balfour. Another three for the Raptors. They can tie it here. No good. Burows comes up with it. Saunders for three. No good off the back of the rim. And finally, the Mystic Mars coming with the rebound. Burows to the corner. Bell for three. Janus Shepherd side for three. And they're going to say it's a two-pointer. The referee just put the two fingers down. Must have had a foot on the line. 41-36. And boy, the scoring has picked up tremendously here in this third quarter. Inside, Burows. Call for the charge. And stepping in to take it was Balfour. And for Denykco Burows,
and Coach Bowles is trying to get the official to give him shooting fouls, but on an offensive foul, if it's the fifth foul, there's no shooting happening if it's an offensive foul.
Boy, Shepherd had a good look at the three, pulls it back out, and he's going to be fouled here.
And now they'll be shooting too. And in funny, if you understand what I said about 3 minutes ago, C.I. Gibson was poised to be inside the bonus, but Doris Johnson did not commit another foul to put them over the bonus. And now they went from 0 fouls straight up to 5 fouls, and now Doris Johnson is on the line.
We're going to the line will be Janus Shepherd, the Eleuthera native, shooting two, and he makes the first one. 25.7 seconds left here in quarter number 3. And Shepherd misses the second. 36-42 is our score in favor of Doris Johnson. Now the Marlins trying to get a little bit of a pressure. Burows thought about the three, wisely pulls it out. Rillen Saunders kicks it inside to Chad Smith, who's going to force one up the left. 5 seconds left to go in the quarter. And I still don't understand why they keep trying to do this red trap. At the buzzer, will it shot count? I don't know if he got it off in time. They're going to say no, he did not. Basket will not count. He still had it on his hand. Coach KJ Johnson wants the basket, but it will not happen for him. Look at that. He's like, give me that basket. I want it. Nothing doing. At the end of 3, he's on his knees now praying to the basketball gods, which would be the officials there at the table tonight. We're going to keep it right here. The fourth quarter is coming up right in a few moments. 42-38, 1 quarter of basketball to decide it one way or the other. Will we have a game 3, or can the Rattlers, who've shown some signs here, able to cut this lead all the way down to within 2 possessions, can they come all the way back? Doris Johnson's showing some signs of fatigue. The pressure defense has forced a lot of turnovers here. They've allowed the Rattlers to get back in it.
Well, if you don't believe it, you have to right now. Basketball is a game of runs. The tide changes quickly. Momentum can change at any point in the time inside of a game. And right now, C.I. Gibson is trying to pull back into this game while Doris Johnson barely clinging on to a 4-point lead. Right now, Doris Johnson appears that if the last few plays of the floor, they want to try and bring the pressure up. And they're going to inbound the ball to start the third quarter.
So the fourth quarter is about to start here. 1 final period of basketball. Can Doris Johnson hold on to force a game 3, or will this thing end here this evening? I can tell you which Coach Johnson wants. And again, they bring that pressure defense. Shepherd drives inside. Belle will not get the basket, but he does draw the foul here. 2 shots coming up, and that's going to be on Denykco Burows. That'll be foul number 3, I do believe, on number 5.
And right now, when you start out the first offensive play and you draw a foul with under 10 seconds gone in the quarter, you got to tell your players, listen, play smart.
Well,
you don't want to get them in the bonus this quick.
No, they didn't
10 seconds into the game.
They didn't call it on Denykco. They called it on Rillen Saunders. That's his 4th personal, which could turn out to be big here. And he's been a big spark plug for this Rattlers team, now playing with the 4 fouls. Burows scrambling out to Saunders for 3. And there's another one. That's his 3rd three-pointer here in the second half. 2-point game. And almost knocked away. Boy, Rillen Saunders has found a touch. He's been struggling throughout this series, but tonight he's got it going here. Joshua Ball is a rare open look for him. Pulls up a 3. Can't hit. And I think his confidence is shot. He's not looking as if he's feeling it tonight. He's not feeling that confidence to take the ball to the basket like he normally does. Inside, Janneiko Saunders. What a different story tonight for Janneiko Saunders. And they turn it over. Inside. Rattlers took the lead by 2.
It looks like Coach Bowles is signaling for a timeout on the table. And this gym just got so loud.
Huge moment here for Doris Johnson. They got to score. Inside, Belle puts it in. We're tied again at 45, but all of a sudden this thing has gotten very tight. Smith's going to force it up. I knew he would. Can't hit the shot. You like the fact that he's got confidence, but sometimes you can get a better look than that.
That was a heat check.
And they turn it over again. And that's going to be a foul called on Belle. Boy, Doris Johnson's been very careless with the basketball against this pressure defense by the Rattlers.
I was surprised just now that it wasn't an open court foul. There's nobody ahead of him.
Well, I think because the way the pass was given ahead, it was a loose ball pretty much the way by the time it got there, and all the guys got there at the same time. Burows for 3. No good. McCoy comes down with it. Almost throws it away to Burows. They get it across the timeline to the corner. Shepherd gets his men up in the air. And the Marlins took the 2-point lead again. 47-45. And this crowd is on its pins and needles now. This thing could go anywhere at this stage. Nervous looks by the Marlins fans as they've had this game seemingly in their control, only to see it now very much in contention.
I'm trying to understand what the call was made just now.
Yeah, I don't understand what was the whistle there at all. Was it a foul? Well, I think they may have called a foul.
Yes,
but if so, who they called on? Well, they called on number 4 for Doris Johnson. That's Janus Shepherd, his 2nd. I didn't see a foul there. Rillen Saunders throwing up the little teardrop. Can't hit. The rebound controlled by C.I. Gibson. They can't hit again. A fast break opportunity now as Belle goes in strong. Can't hit.
McCoy has to be careful just now. He almost went over the back again.
Lead back up to 4 for Doris Johnson. 49-45. They're trying to hold on. The Rattlers have fought back, held a lead briefly by 2. But back comes Doris Johnson. Chad Smith fighting inside, throws up a wild shot, gets his offensive rebound. The shot clock does not reset, or at least it shouldn't have. The ball didn't touch the rim, but they get reset it anyway. And they'll reset, try to get over the timeline. And they do, just barely. Shepherd with it. To the corner. Belle driving inside, off the glass.
That was a pretty long layup. He went in attack mode, and Chad Smith just couldn't get himself composed enough to try and defend the shot.
Doris Johnson back up by 6, 51-45 with 4:24 left to play in the game. Dario Saunders with a heat check from way outside, not even close. Shuts it, pushing it up the floor. And inside. Demonstrates the Euro step for everybody in the gym.
That was a perfect demonstration of the Euro step. As Kevin Johnson says, look, hey, enough of this. I've seen enough. I got to call a timeout.
And just when the Raptors seemingly had the game in their grasp, back comes Doris Johnson. We talked about this being a game of runs, and that's certainly what happened there. C.I. Gibson made their run, went up by 2, but back come the Marlins now, able to get back into the game and go back up by 6.
What I've noticed is Doris Johnson, anytime they've gotten the rebound now, they're looking strictly for that outlet and trying to get the ball up the floor when they get an opportunity to. One of the keys to basketball is if you can rebound the ball and you get it out in the outlet, you look up the floor. That 35 or that 45 offense, we like to call it, where you get the ball up the court in 3 seconds or 4 seconds. Doris Johnson has been overemphasizing trying to do that in order to avoid C.I. Gibson's press.
Not allowing them to set up that pressure, right? Well, can the Rattlers answer here coming out of the timeout? Let's see what's Coach Johnson dialed up on the chalkboard. Clock coming up on 4 minutes left to go. Almost a steal. They went for the steal. Dario Saunders going inside, kicks it out to Denykco Burows, who throws it away to McCoy. And here is Janus Shepherd. Shots for Burows. And they'll wisely put it out, try to get something good.
10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. They have to make something happen.
Burows, boy, he's not taking that shot. He got a good look. He would have taken that
last night. 3 seconds
clock
left
is at 1. They're going to have to force one up. Shepherd, no good off the back of the rim. But Burows has got to take that shot. He was wide open for the 3 and chose not to take it. He's lost his confidence. Denykco Burows can't make the shot, and Burows got to get that rebound. Luckily, last touch.
My thing is this, I'm going for this look. I want the rebound. I'm not going to let it go out.
Yeah, that was not good basketball. Very lucky they were able to come away with it. Shots for Burows now with the basketball. 3:15 on the clock. And his team up by 6. Looking for some contact, looking for a whistle. Does not get it. And that looked last touched by Doris, and it is. It'll be Rattlers basketball.
One thing I tell a lot of players that I coach. Of course, you're going to get the contact, but try and focus on the finish. You're going to get hit, you're going to get bumped, you're going to get pulled. Try to focus. Watch the ball go in. That's the fundamental part of a shot that you take. Watch the ball go in.
No good on a 3 as the Rattlers are really starting to chuck it up there. Fast break opportunity. And that's Janus Shepherd who found himself open for the 2.
And so fast we find the lead going back up to 10.
10-point lead. Once again for Doris Johnson, 55-45 with 2:39 left to play. That's Denykco.
That's actually
Rashawn Strachan, who's checked back in. And he finds himself open for a layup. Lead at 8. Shepherd dribbling through to Belle.
And right now they can't play keep away. They got to try and score.
Kicks it back to McCoy to try the no-look pass. He was not ready for it. That was not a good turnover. And they're going to get a whistle.
And that was a foul drawn by Rashawn Strachan. He's going to take 2. I think that one is on Joshua Burows.
Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be a shooting foul. It didn't appear that he was on his way to the basket. They're going to inbound it from the baseline. And a good point. Good call by the referee. He was well before the shot attempt.
Again, a little chippy right now. Joshua Burows is complaining about some dirty play.
That last foul was called on Burows. Perhaps that's what he's argued about. Meanwhile, forcing one up is Chad Smith. And we're going to have a scramble for the ball on the floor. Smith's going to force one up, and he's going to draw the foul there.
The C.I. Gibson player got away with a travel. He rolled over as he recovered the ball. And they've been putting a lot of emphasis on making that call, letting players know that you can't roll if you receive a loose ball on the floor. If you're on your knees, you can stay on your knees, but you can't get up.
Well, that first free throw well short by Chad Smith.
You can see kind of fatigue on his face.
And he's exerted a lot of energy trying to get his team back into it. Makes the adjustment and makes the second free throw. 55-48 now, a 7-point lead. And they're almost thrown away, and they're going to get a foul called on the reach-in against C.I. Gibson.
And that's a pretty good call. I would tell you this. If he had maintained possession of the ball, the officials would not have called that foul. It wasn't a big bump, but he bumped him nonetheless, and he lost control of the ball, and that's why they called the foul.
Well, they called on Sanusi. That's 5 fouls on him. That may be it for him. And indeed it is. That's on Jaythan Sanusi. That's number 3. So he's going to be fouled out of the ball game. There he is, already taking a seat on the bench. His night is done. So he can only watch this one and hope it turns out in his team's favor. Boy, that's a tough pass, but they luckily got away with it. Bell comes down with it. Clock stops, and I'll be the enemy if you're C.I. Gibson.
Under 2 minutes to go. Lead is 7 points.
Shot clock at 8. And they're really working it down. Bell, they got to get something going here. I wonder. Wow, that's a bad shot. Luckily inside is McCoy, and he's going to get the foul. Boy,
now they're going to go back up to 14. You played 23 seconds worth of good defense. And now the shot clock is going to reset to 14, and they give him a shooting foul.
Yeah, wow. I didn't think he was going up with it yet. He just got his guys up in the air. He had not even attempted the shot attempt, but he's going to get the benefit of the doubt here. McCoy misses the first one.
The most he did was kind of load, but he didn't even attempt.
Yeah.
And they're not in the bonus situation. I guess the official saw something different.
Second free throw for McCoy. And he makes it. 56-48 now.
Lead back up to 8 with 1:40 left to go in the second.
And if you play smart, he just mathematically, as long as you don't turn it over, as Joshua Burows just comes up with a steal. If you're Doris Johnson, if you're smart, mathematically, McCoy is anticipating the contact and throws it and can't make the layup. That's probably the easiest shot he had all night. Looking for the defender and ends up missing a layup. That's a tough break. Burows, 3, no good.
I think Janus Shepherd got a piece of it.
And Burows will come away, and they got a fast break here. Janus Shepherd, and looks like they're going to have a game 3, my friend. It's going to be near to impossible for C.I. Gibson here, down by 10 with a minute to play.
And that's a charging foul.
Going to get called for the charge, and it's a good call.
And I would have said, the way that C.I. Gibson has shot the ball in the third quarter, if they brought some of that back, you know, it's more or less like a 3-possession game if they were able to knock it down, because you saw where Rillen Saunders knocked down 2 in a row, then Denykco Burows came back and knocked down 2 in a row. It's not insurmountable, it's possible, but not necessarily probable.
Yeah, as long as you don't throw the basketball away here, if you can just control, if you just use your shot clock,
right,
it should be mathematically impossible to lose this game.
You make it 3 possessions, 24 seconds.
Yeah, there just simply isn't enough time as long as you don't give them the basketball on a turnover. And speaking of which, there's a jump ball.
And it appears that it could have been even that he was out of bounds.
And I don't understand why they go, you know, keep it simple. And it's now going to be a turnover because C.I. Gibson gets it on the jump ball. But you don't need to go behind the back in that situation, especially on the sideline the way he did. Clock at 42. C.I. Gibson needs baskets and he needed them in a hurry. The 3-pointer is good. Just like that.
First run. And then a tip out of bounds.
And they throw it away.
It was actually deflected.
Deflected by C.I. Gibson.
But then again, Doris Johnson should call a time, and I guess that's what coach is doing now. Call a time and bounce the ball in the front court.
Exactly.
Because just now, that ball could have very well been turned over underneath C.I. Gibson's basket, and then they could have scored again and made the game a 5-point game with 30 seconds left to go. And all you have to do is just play the foul game, play the touch game, and try to get yourself, try to prolong the game.
Prolong the game, exactly right. And I'm sure that's what Coach Bowles is telling his guys right now. If we take care of the basketball, we should win this thing. But you got to take care of the basketball. You cannot throw it away. As they come out of the timeout, it'll be Joshua Burows inbounding for Doris Johnson. His team leads by 7 with 36.6 left to play. Trying to force a game 3 here. Boy, tough pass, but to get it inside. Bell goes in strong and draws the foul. And while I like the fact he's going to get free throws out of it, for me, I would have preferred him to pull that basketball out and burn some more clock there.
Some more time.
Because you help C.I. Gibson by stopping the clock, and if you don't make these free throws, it keeps the game right where they want it.
So pretty much only 3 seconds came off the shot off the game clock.
And the first free throw is good. So at least he makes the free throw.
So now we see it's at least a 3.
It's a 3-possession game here. If you're Doris Johnson, it's a 3-possession game, and he makes both. So a quick timeout now by Coach KJ Johnson. I think that might have been his final timeout.
Now what he wants to do is probably try to get a quick hit and score. Try to get 2 for 1. Try to get a stop. Probably try to get a quick score.
Well, now you got to
get a foul.
You got to go quick basket, quick shot,
yes.
And then you try to get a quick foul. Either go for the steal. If you don't get it, you got to foul right away. That's the only way you can get back into this game, or at least have a chance mathematically, I would imagine.
Strangely enough, I haven't seen Devon Farrington back inside the game at all tonight. Janeiko Saunders has been the unsung hero.
Well, remember, he was the guy that went into the locker room.
Oh, what, that was him?
That was him that went into the locker room. So that's why Janeiko Saunders forced into action. And he's actually had to play the entire time because I don't know, whatever the injury was, he has not come back onto the floor like you mentioned. So the clock is starting to wind down now. If you're the Rattlers, he's on the sideline. He's out of bounds. Boy, that's a tough call. That's
I don't know why Denykco Burows passed it off. He normally takes that kind of 3-point shot.
Well, you know what? There's pressure moments, and some guys don't necessarily want that ball in that moment. Perhaps not wanting to be the GOAT there.
And look at that.
Boy, that was playing right into the hands of the Rattlers as Shepherd is fouled. I've seen some really ill-advised passing by the Marlins. They're lucky in a lot of situations to come away with a victory here because they were doing everything in their power, seemingly, to give the Rattlers a chance. 9-point game. And with only 25.5 left to play, 25.6 actually, some of the C.I. Gibson fans are starting to make their way out of the gym, conceding victory here and understanding there will be a Game 3 tomorrow night.
And this is, strangely enough, a lot of basketball for 3 days. The way that both these teams play, you have to be in some very good condition to be able to go.
Now Burows takes a 3 and he knocks him down. Walks right into that 3-point shot and a quick foul. And they'll have to parade to the free throw line here.
And here we go. We have an 8-point lead. 18.8 seconds left to go, essentially.
Well, if you're Doris Johnson, you just got to make the free throws. Even if you make one or two every time up, you should be able to hold on unless C.I. Gibson just goes on a 3-point rampage.
It's very well. An 18-second game can go well into 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
And the free throws will certainly help. As at the line right now for Doris Johnson, shooting 2.
That's Tyeko.
And he had a good game last night. Vince very quiet here this evening, makes 1 of 2, but you just got to put something on the board here. And Joshua Burows comes up with a steal. Just put it out, young man. You don't have to score here. You don't need to score. Run the clock out, and that's going to do it here. And boy, he's going to take the shot anyway, Janus. And he misses it. I'm glad he did. McCoy gets it too. And the clock stopped with 1.2 seconds on the clock. That's going to do it. We're going to have a Game 3 tomorrow night, folks, as Doris Johnson comes back and wins Game 2, 65-54, your final. So the Rattlers will not celebrate a championship this evening, at least not for the senior boys. Anyway, they'll have to try again tomorrow in an anybody take-over situation, a winner-take-all situation between these two teams, and rightly so. You know, they've battled all season long. Doris Johnson has risen to the occasion every single time. From adversity, we talked about the fact they lost Game 1 against Anatole Rogers in the semis. They do the same thing here this evening. And let's see if we can, if they can do it again by coming back and winning tomorrow night. But you got to admire the perseverance of this Doris Johnson Mystic Marlins team. You got to admire as well Coach Bowles' ability to get his guys up for a certain